Rapfest Radio on rapfestradio.com. We're not number one. God is. We may not be the best, but our purpose is to lead you to the best. Jesus Christ. www.rapfestradio.com. Old school to new school. Classics to exclusives. Gospel hip-hop music and videos. Live video interviews Monday nights at 8 p.m. Monday nights at 8 p.m. Watch. Learn. Love. Support. Rapfest Radio on rapfestradio.com. Rapfestradio.com. Rapfestradio.com.
Everywhere else where the pain is felt, I pray our savor hears our cries for help.
Am I wrong for what I'm trying to say?
say. Wrong cause I'm trying to change. Wrong cause I'm looking to save you. I don't wanna be the one running to your funeral. So I'ma tell you what you don't wanna hear. We're living in this world but we're not part of it. Am I wrong for what I'm trying to say? Wrong cause I'm trying to change. We need a savior.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Rapfest Radio, rapfestradio.com. We're here live on this Monday night, the 20th of May. We have a packed show, but first, before we start, definitely want to say our hearts go out to those people in Oklahoma City that suffered this tornado. We don't know any more details. It just happened like maybe 4, at most 5 hours ago. Mile-wide tornado just swept through parts of Oklahoma City. We're watching the news, so we're just praying that people are safe, as safe as they can be, and we'll continue to pray for those families out there that are affected by it. We want to make sure we put that out there. We don't want to overlook, people suffering. Yeah. So again, thank you for watching Rapfest Radio, rapfestradio.com. We started off the show with a song. I got to read the credits because it's a brand new song. You heard it here first. Nobody's heard the track yet. I was the first one to hear it last night. Unless they lied to me, just to make me feel good. Make sure you play it. Yo, you the first one, man. Anyway, the song was called Need a Savior by Takeover Records, featuring Meek, Frankie Bells, Testimony, and they had a special guest there, which is our man Jin, rocking on that track. Jin, hit me up. So we're really excited that new ministries are coming out. New artists, new songs are coming out. That's always good to have. And today we're excited because we have a packed show.
Yes.
We have B-Love in the building. We're going to be talking to in a few seconds. We have Brother E in the background. Y'all remember Brother E, Elements, Church Brother E, Rapfest Brother E, Brothers Inc. Brother E, Storytellers Brother E, Pastor Brother E, Storytellers, the real storyteller. We're going to test and see if he remembered his lyrics today. I
didn't remember them back then.
But we have Brother E here, and then somewhere halfway through the show, we're going to announce the ministries that have been selected to participate in Rapfest 2013. So we're really excited about that, and thank you guys all for sending in your submissions.
Yes.
Introduce our guests, man. I'm gonna sip my coffee.
Introduce
yourself, man. You don't need us here.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Brandon Johnson. That's my mother named me, but I go by the name of B-Love, and I'm just happy to be here, man.
Awesome.
Hey, man, we were just commenting before the show. Last time we had B-Love on was we thought it was 2 years ago. It was actually 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then Brother E was still doing the hosting with us, and we were able to talk to him. But 3 years, a lot of things go on, and I've been watching your videos and you're following your music and stuff online. So why don't you just take us on a quick journey of what you've been doing the last couple of years?
Well, since I last was here in spring, sometime 2010. I completed college. I graduated college back in 2012. Awesome. So at 2010-12, I was finishing up my bachelor's degree. Awesome. So I finished that up. In the process of that, I was still recording, doing some traveling and recording when I could, getting in the studio here and there. I actually, during that time, that 2010-2012 time, I was in school, but I also I parted ways with the label I was with, so I actually went totally by myself, and I had to kind of redo things and become a businessman per se, and handle things on my own, which was a very crazy experience because you're now learning how to do things by yourself. So during that time, I was still working on the record. I graduated college that same year. I got married.
Nice.
So
talk about being busy for the last couple of years.
So I got married in October 2012, and from then on, we just completed the album last week. Awesome. So now my project is done. So that's what I've been doing in a
nutshell.
Oh, and then other than that, besides that, y'all had T.Y.'s here a couple of
Right.
years ago, and I think he told you, he may have not, but I also took on a full-time position at the same church.
Oh, okay.
So
Agape.
he's the youth pastor and I'm the youth director. So we work side by side together. So
Nice.
working that full-time, finishing school, got married, and doing a project.
All right, all you hip hop heads out in Jersey, don't leave your church to go to Agape. It's not a hip hop church for you know to come and see
T.Y.'s
Beat Up and T.Y. You guys don't do like concerts every Sunday, right?
No, we don't.
Okay.
But
Just on Fridays.
But you could go anyway. Why
we
not?
actually
What
we
did they
just
do?
opened up a new team facility. They just built us a new team facility in the basement.
Nice.
So we actually have some events coming up. Yeah, for the most part, that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years.
Well, that's good. So I want to talk about, you know, you said you left the label you were with and you started doing stuff on your own because, again, one of the purposes of this show is to help others with their ministry. So there could be another artist out there thinking of doing the same thing or forced to do the same thing for whatever reason. So just explain some of the challenges and maybe what was the transition for you like?
Well, the one of the main things that happened, and the label that I left, me and the owners are still great friends. There's no problem there. One thing is, when you're independent, you have to do things on your own. Period. Like, this is what you have to do. You have a dream that you invest money into, you invest time into, with no promise of any return. Like, there's no guarantee anything will work out. So the thing that happened with the label was, I wanted to go here, and they were still kind of like, let's stay here, and I just was like, all right, it's time for me to do it on my own. And I had many challenges. Trying to find a new studio was just like the biggest thing. I live in Jersey, ended up recording in Philly, so I'm driving an hour and a half just to record a song and come back home and try to write. So that was just a struggle in itself. But getting the finances to actually do that type of stuff, getting people that were willing to dedicate themselves to your project as much as you were, finding people who believed in you, for that matter. So there's many challenges that come with it. What I will say is Christian hip hop is not a career. Early on. Don't go into it thinking you're gonna be a millionaire tomorrow. It's not gonna happen. You start off investing a lot more money than what you think, between paying for your studio time, paying for mixing, paying for mastering, paying for features,
especially if you want to do it right.
Oh yeah, especially when
I
you
was
do
just
it
gonna
right.
say, because that's the thing. A lot of people try not to pay for things, and then the quality doesn't come up. But you investing.
That's in it.
If you're wise,
got some great people behind it. Doing those things matter. So I learned how to do it myself. It was difficult, but I learned, and now we're at the end of this album, and I'm excited about it. Yeah.
So when somebody calls to book you, say, Be Love Ministries?
No, actually don't.
He's not available right now.
I send it to my manager.
You transfer to yourself another line. Pick up.
I learned a lot of things. I learned how to handle myself in a more constructive way, where it's like I used to book myself, and that didn't work out too well, because now it's like I charge this, but you know what? I'll come for free. And before you know it, you're spending your time trying to recoup what you didn't make at all. Like, I'm trying to, you know what? I don't have gas to get there. I'm not going to charge you though, but I'll get there on E, and then we'll figure it out from there. And
wow, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's not going to work out.
That's how Brother E and I rolled for many years.
Yeah, and that's not smart business. So I actually have a manager now in place that handles that type of stuff. And,
that's important to to even be on your own, but still have a manager. I tell everybody all the time, I'm not a fan of managers because they never represent you well.
Yeah.
But you do need help.
Definitely.
You really can't do it all by yourself, especially if you're trying to write songs and be creative musically. You don't have time to be thinking of all the administrative stuff.
I think it's a misconception too. A lot of artists want to do everything themselves, and you can't.
Right.
You need a team to guide you and help you make the best decisions for you. So.
Right. I mean, and when you hit the studio and you don't have the label behind you, what makes it like? How does it? Who are your ears? I know you have probably friends and family that roll with you, but now you don't have a full label behind you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the I'm hot, I'm sweating. Thank you so much. Even when I did have the label behind me, it was two of us. It was the CEO of the label. There was a producer, and it was me. So it wasn't.
Okay, so it's a small group.
No, I wasn't missing anything.
Okay.
The difference now is I have more trusted ears, people that could give me an honest opinion. That's one thing. So my cousin, my engineer, and my main producer, who's also featured on Untitled. That's the circle, and we kind of keep it there. And then my manager hears some stuff here and there, but other than that, a collective group of 4 or 5 years outside of my wife too. She listens and she tells me this is corny, and then she say, "Don't do this."
You're not leaving the house with that track.
Yeah, it can get bad. And I be hyped. I'm like, "Yo, this is it." She was like, "Don't do that one." Okay, and trust your wife. So other than that, man, tight circle, but some eclectic ears that can tell me like this is good, and that's what I did. Yeah.
So 3 years ago when you were here, would you had imagined that you'd be doing what you're doing now? Like,
definitely not. I didn't see 3 years ago, me even coming back here. I thought, 2010 or that time period was a blessed time where just like I don't know what I'm gonna be doing next year. I honestly, looking back on it now that I think about it, that time span was difficult because it's like you want to be respected by your peers, you want to be embraced by churches and audience, and at that time I just didn't feel like I had that. So even just coming here at that time was just like, yo man, I'm here at the Rap Fest, like this is it. So like no, 3 years ago, not at all. I didn't see what was coming. I didn't see myself graduating college. I didn't see myself getting married. I didn't see those things. But 3 years later, we are here, and it's just a testament to how good God has been and His favor and grace, and
How did that affect the project? So did you leave the label when you were starting the project, or?
Oh no.
So you started after you left?
Actually, the album was finished. It was out. I didn't want it to come out, but it came out.
Okay, so that one that came out. Okay.
It came out, and I just didn't like the direction of it, as far as like I wasn't ready. I'm not ready to release it, but we spent so much time. You just was like, it's time to go. Yeah. And then the whole thing was we were going to recoup and go back in and do things over. And by that time, it just was like, I just gotta do it myself. And that was pretty much it.
So the album that you just completed last week is something that it's at post.
Well, what I did was I took. There was on that album, there was 20 songs, I think.
Okay.
I took 3 of those, revamped them, and then I put a whole nother album around it.
Nice.
And this is the body of work that we've come up with.
And what are the differences? What are some of the main differences that you will get from?
Okay, the first album was called Growing Pains. Mm-hmm. That's what it was called, right? So that came out in 2009, 2010, around that time. But then fast forwarding, I was like, we're gonna put the album out, keep the title. What happened was Jason put out a Growing Pains, right? So during this process, now I'm tweeting, my album, and then Jason announced that he had an album coming out. And it was people like sending me tweets like, you can't name your album that, Jason been rapping longer than you. Literally, I'm getting like a list of tweets of this type of stuff.
Hate tweets and stuff.
Yeah, like literally, and I was just like, man, like that's crazy. Like, so what happened was we ended up, I was thinking about it, and I actually text JR. I text JR, I was like, man, what should I do? He was like, you need to change your album title. And I was like, okay. But then I texted another friend, he was like, no, keep it. And I was like, now I'm torn between the two. So at this point, I'm just like, all right, I really don't know what to do. I remember actually, me and my wife got married the day before Hurricane, what was that, Katrina? Sandy, my bad. Hurricane Sandy. We got married the Sunday, and then the storm came, right?
Wow.
But 2 days before we got married, my grandfather passed away. So like, it was a crazy weekend. So, but one of the moments that I remember spending with my grandfather was he passed in October. So that August or so, he was really sick. But he wanted me to stay home with him, and we had pizza. We just enjoyed pizza at the house. So we're at the house, and I was talking to him. I was like, Grandpa, what's the result of growing pains? Like, where do you go from that? He was like, you grow. And I was like, hey, it's clean, it's nice. So I texted you, I was like, I'm gonna name it Growth. And they were like, okay, it's not growing pains, but it's actually just a result of what I went through. So that's one of the main changes. The title just changed. Artistically, what I was saying 3 years ago is way different because I got, educated. You learn a little bit more, got a little more in God's word and understanding my purpose and those type of things. So lyrically it grew. As a businessman, I said I grew. I started working with more artists and more producers. So just a whole transition of growing up. And I talked about a number of things. Marriage is one that is one of the main topics that I'm in love with. Just growing as an artist. So title, direction, maturity, these things. Nice. This is a sum of growth. And that's what it is.
That's awesome. We have one of your videos that we want to play. It's called Untitled.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the song, maybe about the video. You have a feature on it as well.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and talk some more after the video.
Song is called Untitled. Basically, it's based off a situation where I was asked to speak somewhere for a youth Sunday. And the Friday before the Sunday, they called and told me I couldn't do it because I wasn't a minister, a licensed minister. So they said, you can't do it. And I was like, man, I've been studying and prepping for this thing. So I was I want to say I was bitter towards it. I was a little upset. So some time went by. A friend of mine, Joshua Genuine, he sent me a beat. Heard this beat. At this time, I'm done with my album. At least I thought I was. I was done with my album. So I heard this beat. I sent this to DJ who's featured on the song. He's like, yo, you gotta do something with this. So we started trying to put some thoughts together, and I listened to the beat for a long time. I kept listening to it, maybe a couple months. Literally, I had this for months. And the whole time I'm like, y'all gotta put the best punchlines I know on this one song, and it just didn't make sense. But then one day I was actually reading, and I came across Mark 16 verse 15, go into the world, preach the gospel to all creation, and boom, it just was like, it didn't say go pastor, go evangelist, go minister, go deacon. It just said go, meaning you don't need that validation from the church for you to go out and spread the gospel. Now I'm not saying everybody's qualified to go do this. But what I'm saying is, if you have the heart, the right mentality, the mindset to do it, you don't need to wait for that validation to go ahead. So I'm untitled. I am untitled. Somebody else is untitled. But the point is, if we're spreading this gospel, we're doing our job. And that's what I want to do.
Amen. So check it out. Here's the video. It's called Untitled here at RapFest Radio, rapfestradio.com. We're going to come back with some more B-Love.
Yeah.
Listen here. It's 0 degrees out here. It's cold, okay?
It's really cold.
It's really cold out
I don't know
here.
what's going on.
Okay.
You already know. What you say?
Stop. Shoot videos, we shoot movies. And you supposed to have your drop. It's the same what?
Hands freezing and all that. Michael Bay B, Darren Javon say what?
Cops. The cops. Listen here. Over here we got the saying we believe. We don't shoot videos, we shoot movies.
Shoot movies, son.
And we don't just put them on YouTube, we premiere them.
Premiere.
So right here, check out this video, Untitled, featuring my good brother, Darian Javon. We out of here. Yeah.
Untitled. Yeah. The flow. Let's go.
I am just a servant who loves to follow my leader. Yes, I am a believer. I put my faith in Jesus. Yes, I believe in God, Father, Son, and the Ghost. Reading all through the text and living out what he spoke, but I was told I wasn't good enough. Same people said I would fall, but I never needed their approval. God qualifies who he calls. I became a second thought, cause I didn't look the part. Everyone looking for swag, but God was looking at my heart. Put this clay upon the wheel, then the potter went to work, molding me and shaping me, loving even when it hurts. Transform my mind now, I don't even think the same. Jesus paid the debt of sin and told me I could keep the change. But this love is too good, can't keep it to myself. Separation from God is eternity in hell. He left basic instructions, I found them in the Bible. God is using me where I'm needed so you can keep the idols. I'ma tell the world about him, it don't matter where I'm at. God God called me out of darkness and I ain't looking back. Ever since I gave my heart to Christ, my life ain't been the same. I'ma tell the world about my Savior, yeah, I'm unashamed. Turn up. Yeah. Don't need a title, I ain't tripping, believe me, I'm on a mission, I'm good. Yeah. Don't need a title, I ain't tripping, believe me, I'm on a mission, I'm just a masterpiece, working on a masterpiece. While I was lost in sin, God was chasing after me. And now I find myself chasing after you. Ain't it crazy what this kind of love can do to you? They put Jesus on the cross, nails in his palm. He died and rose again, we sing it in our songs. If your brother wanted to jump off a cliff, would you let him? So how do people depart this life but never met him? Yeah, that got you thinking, it was a good question. But Christ is crucified for sin, not spiritual suggestions. I am no professor, but now class in session. You want the will of God on earth? Here's a simple lesson. God is searching for a generation who are on their knees and about that life, worshiping the only true and living God. For Christ we live and for Christ we die. Take this message everywhere we go, spread the gospel, make new disciples. Go and tell the world of his goodness. They need you, untitled. I'ma tell the world about him, it don't matter where I'm at. God called me out of darkness and I ain't looking back. Ever since I gave my heart to Christ, my life ain't been the same. I'ma tell the world about my Savior, yeah, I'm unashamed. Yeah. Don't need a title, I ain't tripping, believe me, I'm on a mission, I'm good. Yeah. Don't need a title, I ain't tripping, believe me, I'm on a mission, yeah. And I ain't never been to seminary, but my job is to pull them out the cemetery. And none of us are perfect, so don't trip. Jesus spilled blood where he knew you would slip. God uses ordinary people for his greatest works, so you don't need accomplishments to define your worth. The devil is a liar, 'cause he makes you fight on the God. Jesus died for your salvation, not for your title.
Yo, we're back. That was Untitled by your boy B Love, DJ.
Excited. It's a lot of work.
Good stuff. Yo,
this is like about time, right? Like,
yeah, it's about time.
Is this the first time it's played anywhere?
Nah, well, I mean, couple
dropped this?
I dropped it Tuesday, so
okay.
It's not even been a week yet. So.
Oh, okay. There you go. And also shout out to Laro from Takeover Records. He's in the chat room, and he did say that we definitely were the first persons to drop that track in the beginning of the show.
Nice.
So thanks for the love of that.
Track, exclusive video, Rap Fest Radio. That's what we do.
That's what we do. So let's just talk a little bit about this journey of this. About 2 years, you said you did this project. You're on your own, or you have your tight circle. How did you manage to get some of the producers and work with some of the people that you worked with to get this project done?
I don't know.
There you go.
On to our next guest.
Thanks.
Production-wise, I worked with 3 producers. Very tight. One thing I didn't want to do was sound like anything that everybody else in our genre was doing. It's easy to have like the reach sound, like the boom, boom, boom. It's easy to have that. So I wanted to have my own type of feel, and so my album has a lot of instruments, a lot of vocals, a lot of just it's not what you're expecting to hear. And I think Untitled, is probably the most boom bap type song, but other than that, everything else is very instrumentational. So yeah, so I worked with that. Artist wise, I did work with some good features. I got some good.
No.
Nope, not yet.
No.
I got some good features, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
You gotta give the people something to look forward to.
I
Give
got
us one. Give us
Canton's on my album.
Okay, Canton Jones. All right.
Canton's on my album, but other than that,
You passed on at least?
oh yeah, T is on there. We have
All right.
very.
We got 2 out of them.
I'll say this, and I mean this with all my heart. And if I'm wrong, then I'm just wrong. But I believe the song that I have with T, and somebody else is on the song, is probably
The Truth?
I won't say that.
Somebody from Philly?
I won't say who it is. Just gotta get the record. I'll go on the record and say this. It's one of the most important songs in Christian hip hop history. I'll say that because the song. All right, I'll give you the backdrop. The song is called "Guidance"
By
me.
and featuring
People. So the song's called "Guidance," and it's. I think, and I haven't heard it. So if I'm wrong, let me know. But I haven't heard artists to artists pour into each other, like instead
on
of
record.
On record, not my verse is better than yours type thing.
Not a battle.
Just like almost like I'm asking for this is what I'm dealing with. Can you help me? And
Okay.
I haven't heard it yet, so if I'm wrong, let me know.
I mean, I think the only thing that I've seen has been like the torch passing down with Crosswood back in the days, but you're talking about something more deeper.
Totally different.
Okay.
So
cool.
That record is very important to me. But other than that,
when you release that, you're gonna send it to us though.
yeah, we could do a whole listening party on a Monday night, the night before the album comes out. We could do that.
Hey,
I would love it.
it's done.
When is it coming out?
It is
We're making this live. This is how we roll.
I'll get the master back next
Talk
week.
to the manager.
Let me know.
I'll say,
Let me know.
It's
Let us know.
likely August, August or so.
Let us know. We'll definitely
Yeah.
do that. That'd be nice.
That's
We'll
nice.
set
So that's where we at with that. We could do a whole little listening party. Man.
Yeah.
Cool. I would love that. That would actually be
That'd be cool.
We can do it. We'll make it
That'd be
happen.
cool. I think I've only done one listening party. That was on audio with the guy from London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Get some people.
So and just in dealing with them, I mean, you mentioned that you kept the producers tight, but now dealing with the whole crew. I mean, you probably had other options, or do you feel like you wanted to maybe take some and chances and call some?
I tried.
Okay, so you did.
I tried to work with everybody and they mom, like literally.
But that's important to know.
And I got shot down. I got the the.
Who are you type?
Yeah, I got that, or I got the Right now, I'm only working with
Numbers.
No, not numbers, because a lot of times it really wasn't about the money thing. It was more so about they didn't know who I was, and I totally understand this.
Okay.
Like, you just don't put your name.
Sign versus
Yeah.
sign.
Now, and
Reputation.
the reputation is labels.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? But I addressed that on the last song of the album. I say something
What's
very.
the title of that?
It's actually called. It's 3 songs in one, but it's called. Fear, Success, Fear, Reflections,
Featuring
nobody. It's just me.
okay.
Just me on that one. But
Produced by-
I addressed that. That's it's 3 producers on here too.
Nice.
So I tried to work with certain artists and got shot down. No, not on this record. It's stuff that happens, but
But that's good. I mean, everybody starts. Everybody has different experiences for different reasons. And we may not see it now. It becomes a blessing in disguise, where you realize, what? Either I wasn't ready for that or it just benefited me to be alone through this process to see it for itself.
Yeah.
If collaboration is going to be something down the road, it'll happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't, But who are the other artists on this?
it's just people.
How many features do you have though?
that are like names.
Well, no, just in general, just curious, because it's another album
Feel free
coming
to
out
think
on
out
your
loud.
own. So like,
No, I'll say it's like a solid 6 well-known people.
Okay, that's good.
and how many tracks are you looking at?
14. 14.
Okay.
That's including the 3 from the other,
Including the 3. So I
Nice.
added 11 to it.
which is 6 less than what you had before.
Brand new.
That's awesome, man. We're excited for you, man. We just pray that when the album drops, that song better be the best song ever in Christian hip hop.
I didn't say it would be the best song. I think it's most important.
I understand.
Because and this is just like on a serious note, where just like our genre is just being so competitive. Where it's like I get it, like hip hop. Period. I'm not talking Christian hip hop, but just hip hop is competitive from day one. It's already right. But I feel like we're in this position where this artist feels like they say Jesus better than I do, and that's the heart attack that I believe Christian hip hop is having. Where it's like, none of us are qualified to do what we do. This is the gift that God has given us. So who are you to say I'm not good enough? Like, there's a lot of Christian hip hop I just don't like. I just like, it's a little corny, but who am I to say that's whack? Stop doing it. That's
right.
Who am I? I don't say
they're affecting somebody.
Yeah,
somewhere.
they're touching somebody, and I believe God. Our genre is still new, it's still fresh, and I believe God has given us all great platforms. Whether your audience is on the storefront or in the stadium, God has given you that. And I believe just because you may have the stadium or you may have the storefront, we don't say Jesus different than anybody else. Jesus is Lord. That if we believe the same thing, I believe that you don't say it better than me. Nobody says it better than each other. We're just all saved by grace. This is all opportunity to witness to someone. So that's why I believe the song is important, because it's not about so much I'm working with such and such and such. It's more so like I see what you're doing. I want to help you. And that's all like a lot of young artists want. We just want help. And it takes time to get there sometimes. It takes the cosign from somebody else.
Right.
Y'all can work with him, and then you'll get the stuff you want. But
what do you want people to get out of this album that maybe you tried in the last album or totally different from?
Just the main. I think the main goal for one. Me and T actually had a great discussion about this today, because I've been tossing and turning about when I'm going to put the record out. I've been talking about it for years. It's like, let's just put it out. And he was like, well, what do you want to happen? I just said, I want this to be successful. And he said, well, what's success to you? And I said, well, to be honest with you, the greatest success for me was just being proud of the record. Like, so often, you go through the whole, well, they like this, well, they don't. The moment that you're satisfied, the moment that you're proud of it, I believe that's when it's successful. Right. And then you add in the whole, well, was God pleased with it? God gave you those songs. I think he was pleased. He gave you that. Right. So from this record, I just want people to have a new ear, give a young man a chance, I believe what God has given me is no different than anybody else. I think I just have a different testimony than everybody else.
Nice.
A different sound, a different style. But again, I say Jesus no better than anybody else. I'm just a sinner saved by grace with an opportunity to minister on the platform that I have. So if they take anything away from it, grow. Let's grow. Let's grow together.
Amen. That's awesome, man. It's Be Love Real Talk on Twitter. Make sure you follow him. Yeah. We're not going to let you off the hook that easy. You got to drop a little acapella something for us before you bounce. Okay. And we have Brother E in the background waiting to get up on here as well. So
So I'm doing acapella right now?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Do that one.
The one. Okay.
I was going to ask him.
Do that one.
Okay. Let me see. I'll do Success. I'm going to do it like this. Am I looking in the camera, or can I?
It's up to you.
Okay.
You can stand up. You can dance.
No, I'm not going to do none of that. Just want y'all to hear me. Okay. Sometimes it feels like if you ain't signed to reach, most artists, blogs, and DJs won't even speak. It's a shame in our genre we feel the need to compete with one another. Don't we got the same goals to reach? We put bodies of work together just to be critiqued as not living up to those labeled as the elite. And as soon as a top artist co-sign you, them same people act like they always been behind you. It seems you're nobody until somebody says you are, and success only exposes who you truly are. That's why I refuse to be the artist to treat other artists like I don't remember how I got on. I remember the pain, I remember the tears, but the moments helped me grow into the man that you hear. My overnight success took a couple of years. That's why I'll never take for granted this God-given platform. I had to learn to be confident through criticism and keep submitting music even if they weren't listening. But if I never got a response or an opinion, I understand that I still have a greater mission in playing my music over in Belize, which gives me even greater reason to stay on my knees. Cause success, it will never come true till God can take your talent where your character can keep you. Go.
Wow. Looking forward to this album when it comes out August.
Yeah, August.
Exclusive listening party here.
We're going to try to have him here for that listening party here.
That'd be dope.
That's going to be good.
Yeah.
So even if we book somebody for the day and it comes out, we'll cancel them.
Yeah,
put
cancel
you
them.
on.
I'll have a date for you Friday.
All right. There you go. You heard it here. He's not going to let us down. He has his own company now, his own management.
Yeah. Handle that.
Let's go to So
Turn It Up.
Yeah, to turn it up.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to this video called "Turn It Up" by Alcan, and we're gonna come back with some announcements regarding some confirmed ministries for Rap Fest. Then we have some more videos and some more music, and Brother E is in the building.
Yeah.
You to bring the sound effects. All right, check it out. This is
Turn It Up.
Make sure I have the right video, because you know when Justin ain't here, I can't do the controls, man. I'm out of it. Here we go. "Turn It Up" by Alcan.
Let go, let go, let go. Cause my flesh start burning up. Coming to your hood has burning us. Coming to your block like a black liberal. With the tracks in the back next to the Johnny Mac. Just tell a little homie that I heard of us. When the fact that I know that he came to cover with blood injecting my veins. Painted every picture enough to remember that it's enough to be confessing his name. Reflecting the frame. It is a shame some people is out here and desperate for fame. Trying to get notoriety. He's standing in aim, professing his name. So I tell him, let's go. Give it the beginning to get it gross style. Tell him what it is, I'm telling her I know. My father got a 90 rolls in my soul and they changed with it. I don't need no fame with it. Please come and bang with me. I don't need no change with it. Just a walk, come and hang with me. Come on, fresh still dangle. Ain't getting back in it. This not my home. This body is running. Let it show quick drive. I'm in the backseat. I'm a sun roof to the whole world. I'm with it. Forget my life. Ain't about me. Not for 1 minute. Can't take her to how I'm living. Forget my life. Ain't about me. Not for 1 minute. Can't take her to God is my witness. Let's go. Full blast, tell my neighbors on both sides, say we disturbing them. But tell her we just alerting them. Tell her I got the purpose at. No matter what you heard, my father got my back for his bride, and that's affirming of. So I tell them that Christ that we live and die is the game. Righteous to kill, the sick as a brain. Pride and the shame, afraid to proclaim, denouncing his name. We suffer in pain, defeating the slain for losing our aim. We jumping in the ring and never betraying. Now tell me what it is, then tell me who to blame. We turning up, we never had the will to turn it up. No purpose, cause no work to us. With no savior, living out of touch. That life you can get it, it's not my home. This body is really let it show quick drive. I'm in the backseat, out the sunroof to the whole world. I'm with it. Forget my life, ain't about me, not for 1 minute. Can't take credit, just how I'm living. Forget my life, ain't about me, not for 1 minute. Let God turn it up if you feel me. Let's go. On time to turn it up and make it so bright that the people see light to the city God that I'm conversing for. Tell him I got it so merciful. Tell him my life is his purpose. So I'm laying down my life and I'll be picking up my cross. She's the witness to the people that are living in the law. So we call the town on the hill. Tell me what the deal is. My God is for real. My life is so real. Like it's not real. Like it's a movie film or a premiere. Christ is my king and my job and career. Everything else take a seat to the wheel. My wife, my kids, even career. I wasn't one that living for years. But I tell him I'm off down. Give it a beginning to get it and come out. Tell him what it is. I tell him that I know my father got a diamond rose and we go where he went. Then we rest where he went. King holders will see me. This life that he said, this life that he said. I ain't saying it easy, but this life you can get it. This not our home. This body is running. Let us up for drive. I'm in the backseat of the sunroof. Tell the whole world I'm with it. Forget my life, ain't about me. Not for 1 minute. Can't take it. They just how I live it. Forget my life, ain't about me. Not for 1 minute. Let God turn it up if you feel me. Let's go.
Yeah, that was
back.
Turn It Up by Al Cam here at Rapfest Radio, rapfestradio.com. We are super excited because, as you know, on August 10th, we are celebrating our 20th anniversary of Rapfest. That's right, even though, B-Love mentioned a few seconds ago, this genre is still young and fresh. We've been doing Rapfest for 20 years. Christian hip-hop, I've been exposed to it for over 25 years, but it's still, it's a good thing. You heard that, Brother E? It's still young and fresh, so that means we're still young and fresh.
I don't know.
Amen. All right, so here we go. These are in alphabetical order.
Right.
Even
no order
even
of performance.
Even is alphabetical order. That's the way I roll. That's the way I roll. Okay, here we go. These are the ministries that are coming out for Rapfest 2013. Each one of these has been officially confirmed as well.
Yes.
So it's definitely going on. We have Al Cam, you just saw the video coming in from St. Louis. So we're excited for that.
Yeah.
Antolcha is coming in from New Jersey, representing Spanish people. You guys probably have the Average Man mixtape, Atonement TV. It's a great project. Bridge B and Ali Rose from Colorado Springs, Colorado will be out here for Rapfest as well.
Deep.
Be Free used to go by the name of Direct, coming out from Boston, Massachusetts. He's going to be with us. Chris, which is Christ.
Wait, we got to say Be Free. It's bringing fresh revival to everyone, everywhere.
Yeah, that's a long name. That's a lot for a fitted cap that don't fit. They go all around your head. Be Free. He'll be in Boston, Massachusetts. Chris, Christ has risen inside. He's going to be out here. He's from
Chris
Yonkers.
Transparent.
Yep, yeah. Chris Transparent. Eric E, tu me conoce, chico. Eric E will be here.
Adorando
now he's coming from New Jersey, so Adorando con Flow. Definitely check him out. AdorandoConFlow.com. He has a new site up. A lot of good stuff going on there. Fire Jaws, Raw Fire Jaws. You can't say his name regularly. You gotta say Fire Jaws. You got crazy vocals there, but Fire Jaws from New Jersey will be with us.
Yes.
Of course, Freestyle Fan from Staten Island will be back. I say of course because they better have been there.
Yeah, man.
I think even if they didn't submit, we would have brought them in anyway because those guys are so incredible, man. They're just so much fun to have, and this 20 years would be great to celebrate with them. Gage is going to be in the building. Slave will be on stage with him for one or two songs as well.
Yeah.
So Gage will be with us. Jay Skywalker also repping Brooklyn like Gage. He'll be there. That's Right Side Up Entertainment representing there. From Toronto, Canada, we have Promise.
From where?
Toronto, Canada.
Canada.
From Canada, that's right. We're international. We're done right there. Canada, we're done. Yes, Promise will be with us. Red Dot from Maryland is going to be hanging out with us again. He was with us last year, 3HP Records. Richard Dauphin from New York is going to be hanging out with us at Rapfest
Dauphin is
2013.
back.
Yo, his new stuff sounds good,
He's
man.
back.
I'm excited for it. And Selah the Corner, come on, hoodie season,
yo.
Yeah, the mixtape is insane, so I'm looking forward to having Selah there.
Yes.
Swin the Example. If y'all remember when we had that whole crew here, we did a Rapfest radio interview. I don't know if you were still doing radio with us, E, at the time, but we had all Swin, Righteous Night, all of them, and they were trying to do video drops, and Swin could not say Rapfest Radio for whatever reason. It took us like 20 minutes, and we just said, forget it, we're done. But Swin the Example, he's gotten past that speech problem he had for that one day, and he's gonna be here. His new stuff is great, and Pyro is gonna be with us as well.
The Pyro Bot.
The Pyro Bot. Yo, even if he just comes in, we
gotta get an update from him because he actually performed at McDonald's Gospel Fest a couple weeks ago, and he's out in Australia, so chilling with the kangaroos and stuff out there.
So that's the list. That list will be published on rapfestinc.com later on tonight or tomorrow morning. If you go there now, it just has the special guest, and our special guest this
and
year.
Of course we have Collision Records. We Live as Kings. We got your boy Alex Faith from Dallas, Texas. Dre Murray from Oklahoma. Swoop from Akron, Ohio. We got Kristen Gray from Columbus, Ohio, and they're coming out by way of God Belongs to My City. So shout out to God Belongs to My City. Go to godbelongstoMyCity.com. We also have by way of Triple Threat Ministries coming out and bringing Yavez, also known as Street Pastor, or formerly known as Street Pastor. Yavez Ellis coming out from Columbus, Ohio as well. K-Drama.
Cross Movement Records in the building.
Cross Movement Records, K-Drama Music, check that out as well. He's coming out from Ohio as well. A lot of Ohio folks are coming out. something about Ohio, right?
Yeah, it's popping. Ohio's the new
We're looking
Philly.
for a couple buses coming out from Ohio just to check their boys out. That's for sure.
Ohio's the new Philly, because before Rap Fest used to be all
That's
Philly
true.
artists.
That's true. Look at that. Coming out into that's not Midwest, right? No.
I don't know.
Anyways.
I didn't go to that class.
And also New York's own In My City Records own He Sun Lee will be representing for the ladies.
My favorite.
Actually.
My favorite.
I just noticed that.
What?
She's the only, she's repping for
Yeah,
the females.
she's the only female.
She's gonna be holding it down. She's gonna make them dudes look.
No, it's not about that.
I'm just kidding.
But not for nothing, man. She could definitely hold it.
She's gonna hold on. But shout out to all of these artists that are coming out. We're looking forward to it. Don't forget, August 3rd is the God Belongs in My City prayer walk around Vidalia Park, East 180th Street and Daly Avenue.
Around that whole neighborhood.
Yeah, around the whole neighborhood. We'll probably walk a couple miles just because. Nah, Alice is looking
Yeah, we will.
crazy.
At least 2 miles. At least 2 miles.
At least 2. Is that all right, Alice?
Yeah.
What happened? You can't speak?
At least 2 miles. But yo, August 3rd is a prayer walk. August 10th is Rap Fest. Make sure you stay at rapfestinc.com. Follow us at rapfestradio.com for all want to be a sponsor or a vendor, go to rapfestinc.com. Pick the tier you want to, support us in.
Yes.
And hit us up. We already have a couple of sponsors, so we're
just let us know.
excited about that. Definitely just hit us up with any questions you may have. We're gonna go to this video called "Where Would I Be?" featuring Jay Cabasa, Jay Skywalker, Urban D, and our own special guest that's coming up next, Brother E. What? That's the right name, Brother E, Pastor E.
Sí, señor.
Efraín Alicea, El Reverendo Efraín Alicea from the Elements Church.
Reverendo hermano.
Here we go. Where Would I Be? Featuring Jay Cabasa, Jay Skywalker, Brother E, and Urban D.
Check it out.
I've been living in this world, living with the dead, blinded by society, holding on to threads, holding on to lust, holding on to sex, holding on to porn, man, my life will be a wreck. Fueled by my anger, held by the rage, waiting for pops to come, mom saves the day. Living in the past, living like a flash, holding on to hate, now it's time to move past. Walking in his glory, walking in the light, surrounded by the blood, hands down to win some fight. I'm consumed by the love, I'm consumed by his grace. I feel pain no more, cause you saved my day. How would I live? How would I walk? Where would I go? How would I run? Where would I be? Tell me where would I? Tell me where would I? How would I live? How would I walk? Where would I go? How would I run? Where would I be? Tell me where would I? Tell me where would I? Where would I be? Hadn't been for that God in me, then your boy you be sorta like a Charlie Sheen. No CBS, you see me stressed, all in denial, no lie, man, you see me left. Broke down, naked, coke hand, wasted. That's who I be if it hadn't been for your grace. Where could I go? To who could I run? Tell me, where is there a place that you can shade from the sun? Before the son of man, your was more like the son of Sam. Something sad, what can save him? Nothing can other than the grace of the Savior. It stretches like a rubber band from the throne to the gutter. His love is hard to understand. Someone trashed old rags, not trying to see that man again. IJ Sky stay fresher than a mannequin. Walk in the spirit, leave the flesh tied up. I was upside down, now I'm right side up. How would I live? How would I walk? Where would I go? How would I run? Where would I be? Tell me where would I? Tell me where would I? How would I live? How would I walk? Where would I go? How would I run? Where would I be? Tell me where would I? Tell me where would I? Where would I be?
It's not where I'd be, it's where I was. A man lost no purpose, rebel without a cause. So let's pause and consider where for me it started. Age 9, I'm dusting, already broken hearted. Cause mom and pops was non-existent, never together. Then me and moms were squatters, life could've been better. But she kept it together, no giving up, no never let life break. And was ready for whatever. So yeah, you probably know where I headed, street life. Fell for what's no good in the hood, was enticed. Paid a price for that life, sex and drugs my device. And anger aimed at all who hit the dome with advice. Then one day the master arrived and made a commission. Set your boy on a path armed with purpose and a mission. To let the masses know about Master, Son, the Messiah. So here I
church I lead. Nearly an acre sits under these here beams. Where would I be if I would have been called to his team and realized the dream? What if I fell for the scheme? Now I might have been ballin', big money hauling, but the missus calling. I'd be miserably free falling, spiritually flatlined and stalling. Honestly, I pause. The thought is so appalling to be stuck where I was back when I was 19. Before he made me clean, without Christ I'd be using with greed. Still be a grown boy like Charlie Sheen, praying a dude gets free and takes heed to his grace. I know without Christ my life would be a waste. Never would have been able to experience a taste of his kingdom on earth and witness the birth, the crossover and elements. Do y'all know what you're worth?
How would I live? How would I walk? Where would I go? How would I run? Where would I be? Tell me where would I? Tell me where would I? How would I live? How would I walk? Where would I go? How would I run? Where would I be? Tell me where would I? Tell me where would I? How would I live? How would I walk? Where would I go? How would I run? Where would I be? Tell me where would I? Tell me where would I? How would I live? How would I walk? Where would I go? How would I run? Where would I be? Tell me where would I? Tell me where would I? Where would I be?
We back.
Where would I be?
I'm back.
Brother E is in the building.
What's up,
man.
yo? What's
Yo,
up?
This is weird to see Brother
I
E
know,
here.
man. I know. Word up. What's up?
I'm good, man.
So
How you
much has
doing?
changed at the Rap Fest Entertainment Complex.
Right. We were talking about that the other day too. How everybody's it's the Rap Fest Entertainment Complex.
That's it.
Nobody recognizes or acknowledges that anymore. Only you.
I will forever call it that.
I know.
That's exactly what it, y'all don't know.
Now you know.
But y'all don't know what goes on here. That's what I'm saying.
No, don't say that.
The magic.
Don't say that. I have to cut the lines. Yo, we're excited, man. Brother E has been a long time friend of ours, ministry partner.
I was thinking about the day I met you. You probably do. You remember?
I was rapping somewhere.
Well, it was at Salem Coffee House.
I was rapping.
And Danny De Hoyos had told me, oh, you gotta check him out, because when we were rapping, we think we're the first rappers ever in Christ, right? We invented this Christian hip hop thing.
What we did.
But he says to me, you gotta go to the Salem Coffee House, because my friend Bert, he raps every month. And so I started going with my youth, and I'm there, and you didn't rap for 4 months, man. So it took 4 months of me coming back with my group, and finally you rapped, and then I walked up to you and I said, yo, Danny De Hoyos, and I'm a rapper, da-da-da-da, and you said, you want to rap next month? And I was like, whoa, oh, snap. And I think it was because Danny, since Danny recommended me and so on, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I went to school with Danny, so we used to, that's what we used to do at lunchtime. I used to sit him down and make him listen to my only song. I think that's why I didn't rap for 4 months, so I only had one song. So I had to give the people a break. They know the lyrics too well already. But yeah, Brother E is, again, longtime friend. We were chatting online when it was just one W. It wasn't even www yet. I don't think it even had that. Yeah, it was just weird stuff. We were the only ones online.
We were freestyle, remember on AOL?
I think I still have that.
You probably do. I think I do too, actually.
But man, a lot has gone on in the life of Brother E, even since just from the last Rap Fest radio stuff. For those that don't know, Brother E was co-host on Rap Fest Radio. We did the audio show for a while, 2 years.
Yeah,
we did
That's
2
when
years.
I used to come up with a sponsor like this. Give me that CD. Brought to you by CD Electronics. Remember? Remember that?
It was crazy. We had our own sound effects and all.
Potato chip crackling.
But since then, Brother E left Rap Fest Radio to pursue a calling in his life that demands a lot of time. So that's what we want to talk about and see what's been up with Brother E. So introduce yourself to people that might not know who you are.
Well, my name is Efrain Alicea, Ephraim, but everybody knows me as Brother E. Everybody still calls me Brother E, and that's who I am. And E, I'm
everybody still calls me Brother E.
Imagine
I love
that.
it.
Yeah, and they still call me Bert. How about that?
I love
that. Has not changed.
That has not changed.
So a few years ago, it happened a long time ago, and this is the one story that you might not know. Everybody asks me where this all start, and so I'm a Sion, my first church, my first born again Christian experience, and I would bring people to the church, and it was a certain style. People didn't like it, and so my friend Danny said, "Hey, they do this coffee house, blah blah blah." So I went over there, and I walked into the place, and I saw people sitting around talking and sharing and enjoying the ministry that was going on, and they had tables and there's food and there's coffee. And I looked at that and I said, this reminds me of the early church, that they sat around and they talked and they shared, and people looking across the table at each other. When someone did or said something special on the altar, it wasn't, in church you sit in a row and you got to go like this and look down at your people. Instead, you're across from each other and you're looking them in the eye and you can see the immediate reaction. And I sat there and I said, for me, this is church. And so when people today, and shout out to Mike Boca Chica, Eli Sotomayor, and all the other bistros and all the guys and ladies involved in Salem Coffee House. How long now?
33 years.
33 years.
33 or 34 this year.
Well, in the 90s when I went over there, that's really where Elements Church was birthed to me. Because that place was where I said, wow, I can bring my friends. And I was in the 90s, I got saved in 91, so I was right off the street. So I couldn't bring people to my church, but in that atmosphere, I brought so many people that didn't know Christ into that atmosphere, and it was beautiful. Some came to Christ, some didn't, but whatever God wanted to be done, He started it there, and that's really where the dream started, and the calling probably started early, but that's where the vision for how is the church going to look. And so today on Sundays we're in a big place, a big space. It's a rental hall, so on Saturdays, there's parties, man. And we come in on Sundays, and they're beautiful people. Con Sazon over there on Powell Avenue off of Castle Hill. They're blessing us tremendously. But, sometimes we walk in, and there's stuff in the area that we have to clear, like pantyhose and women's shoes and so on. And so it's okay, though, because what we do is then we take it and we redeem the space for a minute, you know what I mean? And then we pull out the tables, and it's that kind of, it's a coffee house atmosphere.
Right.
But it is church, and we've seen, man, we started tracking numbers of how many people have come to Christ in the ministry. I was overwhelmed when I saw the numbers, and I don't want to say the number because it's almost too big to me to believe, but we've had a lot of life change, man. And so for me, that's more important than anything else. I don't worry about numbers, but when I saw that number, I was like, wow, okay, God, you are doing something, despite the fact that I might think that we're not being effective or we got to change this. You're always trying to fix things.
Right.
God is doing His thing, man, and it's been beautiful.
I've seen a promo on your Facebook page, the Elements page, and it says 2 turntables and a mic every Sunday. Is that so?
That is so. We one of the things that God put in my heart was not to be different for the sake of being different, and that's something I talk about all the time, because people look at us and they go, oh, you're just trying to be this and trying to have a gimmick. And most of the time, this is the honest truth, when people say that, they haven't come to visit. And so I don't mind people saying whatever they say. We all have opinions, but come visit us. Come see what we like. See how we do church, and tell me. Then you can go and have an informed opinion. But we're not doing stuff for the sake of gimmick. We don't have a gimmick. Here's what happened, and this is the progression. First of all, I always knew we'd have a turntable, a DJ. Always knew that. And I sat down and prayed, God send us a DJ like our dear friend DJ Newman. Remember? DJ Newman, someone rocked with us for years. And I said, God, that's in that spirit, in that mold. God sent us DJ Newman. And then I said, God, I want a worshiper like Jay Cabasa, because I know him. God, someone like him. He sends us Jay Cabasa. So I'm going to start saying, send us someone like, no, I'm not even going to say it. But every time, that's what He's done. And so the progression is this. We started in our home, 5 people. In a home, a living room very similar to yours, space-wise. 5 people. We grew to 17. We didn't have any worship leader. We didn't have anybody. So what we did was every family took a turn choosing worship songs. And I know you remember because I hit you up for music.
Yep.
And so what we would do is we rock iPod worship.
I was there a couple of times.
Right. And that's what we do. We just, this family this week, this family the next. And that was kind of cool because everybody had their own tastes. So that was good.
Right.
So one week you'd hear Steve Green. Another week you'd hear Jay Cabasa song. Another week you hear, Hillsong. And it was great. We grew to 17, and then the kids were wrecking the house. So we needed a spot. We moved over there. By the time we moved over there, the DJ had come, and New Man had come, and Kabasa had come, but we weren't going to use them in the house. That didn't make sense.
Right.
So we just sang. We kept on with iPod worship, and it was great. And then we go to the space, and now New Man can rock. We had no musicians. So now, today's progression, the final, well, not final, because God is still molding the team, but today we have a keyboard player,
right,
which is Manny Ferrer. And so we mix the DJ with the turntable and some tracks, and he's a producer, and he'll put some tracks together, and we mix it all up. To me, that's a beautiful thing, because you get the best of both worlds if you do it right. So you said hip hop church, and I don't shy away from it like that's a curse word, but no, we don't have hip hop every day in the sense that nobody's rapping every Sunday. So that's not true.
Nah, I didn't say hip hop church. I said two turntables on mic.
Yeah, you didn't say it. No, but it's alright. It's because it was one thing you weren't trying to bring up and brought it up. It's alright.
Anyway,
so you have a hip hop church?
No.
Yeah, no.
Listen, I don't mind,
No,
and it gives some people a framework for what we do.
yeah.
Sure.
And that's cool. But I'm not rapping sermons, and it's not hip hop every day. But we do have a turntable, at least one microphone every Sunday, and sometimes we open it up. Like one Sunday, a big shout out to my boy Robbie Newborn. He's a Teen Challenge graduate. He rhymes old school, but bro, fire old school.
Really?
And he's one of the very best beatboxers I've ever heard in my life.
Nice.
So he came, I said, yo, come rhyme one day. He came, he killed it. And then the next week, a young lady said she could beatbox. So I brought her up to beatbox, and I rhymed a little. It was great. But we don't do that every Sunday. What we do have is a turntable and some microphones every single Sunday. And some Sundays you'll hear like really, really super urban worship. Some Sundays you hear a little less urban worship. It depends on who's leading. It depends on the choice of songs. And when the whole team is there, it's really eclectic. It's real different. We'll sing Gungor, right? Beautiful Things. We'll sing. They do a lot of original stuff. So it's really eclectic, the music that they choose to do worship.
So as a church, what haven't you done yet that you're looking forward to do?
That's a good question. I'm gonna tell you one thing that we're actually planning now. So again, starting from my house, moving to the small storefront. Now we're in a big space, and that's a whole nother deal. Like we're so many different things that are different with that. And so
the big space is on Sundays.
Just
only,
Sunday
right?
only. We still have the small space on Tremont that we use for meetings, rehearsals, all of that stuff. I'm there. We taught a hip hop dance class there by Sarah Kabasa and a couple other people, and we did a graffiti class there just for kids. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So we use that space for different things. But the Sunday only space, yeah, that's a big space on Tremont. I'm sorry, on Powell Avenue, right off of Castle Hill.
Right.
What was your question?
What haven't
we done?
yet?
Got you. So sorry.
Right? You're a hip hop church.
No. So one of the things we're trying to do is as every church I know does, trying to bring people from the outside, meaning they come to church, they're involved on Sundays, they hang out, and this is their church, but they don't move to the inner,
right.
Meaning they go from consumers to participants, to people who lift and grow the church, right? And so we're trying to do that. And so this season, starting like in a week or two, actually, we're doing our very first full-on church-wide discipleship classes. And so we're really excited about that. A lot of that comes from, we joined Evangelical Covenant Church. They've been a blessing to us in so many ways, but mostly accountability, teaching. They don't let nothing go by. I have to talk to people all the time, and I've learned so much in the 2 years we've been with them. And so, they've identified maybe this is what's next. You need this piece. And so as a church, we haven't done that. We haven't done a street service type thing, which is
Red Light Mission.
Yeah, Red Light Mission. We haven't done it yet, but we have acquired, or God has brought some of the pieces needed for that. And so we're talking about it. This summer we might do some things, and then I think the following summer is when we're gonna kind of blow it up a little bit more. But I'm really excited about the discipleship classes, because I think it's gonna bring people into a more intimate relationship with each other, and then ultimately with Christ.
That's going to be on Sundays? Or
No, that's the beauty of it. It's going to be every day of the week. We're going to have different people.
Okay.
We're going to have different classes. We're all doing the same thing, curriculum-wise. You know what the curriculum is? The Bible. We're reading the Bible and we're sharing the Bible together. That's it. And so the whole church is going to be doing that together. But it's going to be different days, different leaders facilitating the groups. And then, as we're going to do that for a little while in terms of the Bible. And then maybe as we grow, we might change up a little and do a book here and have a specialty. Like, some of the ladies in our church are into scrapbooking. We might do that. We have some ways of doing that. Anyway, we're really excited about that because we think people are going to move in. Yeah. And we've grown from when we started, obviously 5. Now we get between 80 and 100 on any Sunday. I can't tell you why some Sundays is more and some Sundays is less. I can't figure that out. But what we have learned is that our group, our church, the people we're attracting are very transient in the sense that they're transient this way, that they feel they come to church one Sunday and now this is my church, but they haven't learned yet, to give Sunday to the Lord, to give Him His time and make that a priority. So we're changing that.
These are unchurched people.
Thank you, because that is a point that I always talk about. We don't get much church transfer. When we get church transfer, it's people that are ready to step right in and do some work. Not because, I've been wounded, so I need to come here and chill for a little bit. We don't really get that stuff. It's people that come in and they work. I would say 85% of our church is brand new Christians saved at the church. Nice. And so that if we got 100, average wise it's 80 to 85 people in that group that are saved at our church.
And I know that you fellowship with Pastor Mike, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you're connected with other pastors. So how has that helped you in your growth of this church and connecting with other pastors who are starting or who have already had their church?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, Mike and I started Promised Land with him. And that's my brother, and it's funny. He called me today, and we're talking about other stuff. And he said, "Yo, what you doing today?" I said, "I'm doing Reference Radio." He goes, "Yo, I just did that." So we had a half-hour conversation. Then he goes, "Yo, I gotta tell you something though. And this is just a testament to my relationship with him. He says to me, "I made a little mistake. I was nervous. I got excited. I'm with my brothers. Yo, da da da." And I said that we planted Elements Church. And I know we commissioned y'all and we sent y'all. We said, we released y'all. And so I said, well, if I get a chance, and he goes, okay, but that's my brother. Right. But it's a testament to our relationship that he calls me up and apologizes, nothing to apologize for. Right. And he said, yo, I made a little mistake. And I was like, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. But to me, that's a testament to our relationship. And I don't have a lot of those kinds of relationships. The people that, Mike and I, when we started the church, man, we were on totally opposite ends, and we had to learn and fight through things and come together.
I remember Brother E saying, "Yo, they're gonna install me as pastor over here. Could you wear a suit?" I like, what?
Right, because you spoke at the day.
You wanted me to speak. I said, you want me to wear a suit? Like, really?
But why? Why was that? Was it me?
Yeah.
No. Mike came from a different background, and so we had to learn. And there's a book that he asked me to read. It's called The Associate Pastor. And anyone who's an associate, a youth pastor, second, third, fourth in command in the church with strong leadership skills, I suggest they read that book, because for me, the thing that I took away from it is behind closed doors, me and Mike, we fought like cat and dog. But nobody in the church knew. We fight, we'd be screaming at each other in Christ, right? But going at it, and then we showed a unified face to the church and to the ministry, and that book really helped me to do that. It was beautiful because I'm strong-willed, he's strong-willed, and the story when we started Promised Land is we sat in my dining room, we had dinner, and then we prayed, and we knew that we were both called, and so. The argument after that prayer, that was right off, I should have known, right from the top, the argument was, you're going to be the senior pastor. No, you're going to be the senior pastor. We went back and forth. No, you're going to be. And I won because he was the senior and I was the associate. And then, I was there a year and a half, and we thought we were going to be there 3 to 5 years, and God was going to, a year and a half. I went to the Grand Canyon for the first time in my life, and it was beautiful. And I hear God tell me, it's time to start my church, his church. It's time to start my church. And I was like, yo, God, you are bugging. I'm here a year. I got to work with him. I got to help him build his church. So I come back and I'm terrified. You know, those conversations you got to have to break relationship. That was what I was worried about. That's my boy. And I said, I got to talk to you. He goes, yo, I got to talk to you too. So we go in the office and he goes, you first. And I'm like, okay, all right. And I tell him, and he's grinning the whole time, like he's cracking up. I was like, what's the matter with you, bro? He goes, well, man, I was in Florida and God is moving and I was still. And I heard his voice and he said, you're trying to put E in a box that I have not created him for. It's time to release him. Nice. The same time that I was in Arizona at the Grand Canyon. And so it was confirmation for us, and we took another 6 months to unplug, and then we started the church.
So I know you still go to a lot of like church planting seminars and conferences and stuff. Are you looking to plant another Elements type or something? Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you the truth is that I don't think I believe if you're planting a church, you should always have in mind planting other churches. And I think that's where the church in general has failed, because instead of creating the kingdom of God, we are creating our own little kingdoms, right? Yeah, we're just creating this world that I'm the top dog, and I have all these little fiefdoms under me. You know, this associate pastor, this associate pastor, that associate pastor, that associate pastor, and then under you have your deacons that you deal with. We don't do that. I don't believe in that, and I think that a church that plants should always be thinking about planting somewhere else or someone else. And so we're always looking, man. We have people in our church that I think are called, and we're ready. We're ready to commission them. They just need some seasoning. They need some education. We haven't ordained anyone as pastors in our church. We're in almost 5 years, and we haven't ordained. We've ordained some ministers, Manny and Neldy, Carmen. You know Carmen, and so they're ministers of the church, and they take on certain roles. But aside from that, we're one of the things Mike and we talk about all the time, the mistake we made right off the top, associate, assistant, whatever, and deacon so-and-so, and it just, we should have waited. So he always, learn from my mistake. That's what he tells me, learn from my mistake. And it was our mistake. It was ours as a team. And so we've just taken our time, and we've just ordained those people maybe 2 years ago, just ordained them. And they're amazing, man. And it's been a great, and I'm ready to ordain some other people. I need God to
reveal those things.
No, I think He's revealed them to me. I think they need to know it. You understand? And then for pastoring,
they need the Grand Canyon experience.
Yeah, something like that. Where God shakes them, dude. God's got to shake them a little bit, but I think in their heart they're ready, and in ministerial sense, like what they do, I think they're ready. And I love what B said before. I mean, not that I love what he went through, but I understand what he went through. We all went through that, right? You're not ordained, you're not a reverend, you're not this, man. Get out of here. When God calls, and then the other side of it is you're already doing the work. Right. You know, most of the time, someone like B is already doing the work. So what are you talking about? He can't minister here. That's a man-made thing. You understand? Right. And I understand if I don't have a relationship with you, I got to learn who you are before I bring you to the church. That's one thing. But not because you're not ordained.
But you know it's a man-made when you say you can't minister here, because it's not you can't minister.
Right. That's just good. You can't minister here. That doesn't make any sense. So anyway, so we don't worry about that stuff. Everything we do is relational. We try to bring people that we know, or if they come highly recommended, we bring them in. We don't have a rapper every Sunday. We do once in a while, you know.
Every other Sunday.
I can't help but be who I am. Right. And it just makes sense that if I'm leading a church and God is forming it through me, and the beat drop there's gonna be something. There's gonna be something. Hello. Inner city urban. You know what I mean? And that's a whole nother issue. Inner city urban as opposed to the word urban. I went to a conference and they had an urban ministry workshop, and it was urban Manhattan. And it was a waste of my time. I'm attracting the hood. People in our church, when we started, I thought we were gonna have all these young cats, and with the we got old dudes, but they all hood. They're married and they got families, but they're hip hop. They old hood though. And so those are the people, for whatever reason, we're attracting, and we have more men than women in the church, which is kind of unique. Yeah. We have a lot of families, young, awesome. 30s, 20s, and 30s. So we have a lot of kids, man. We got a lot of kids.
But that's awesome, man.
It's beautiful.
Awesome.
Shows growth for the future.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So what is, from your experience so far, for our viewers that are probably sitting there saying, oh my God, he's speaking my heart right now. I want to plant a church. Like, what do you tell a person like that?
Yeah, I just had a conversation with someone who I'm mentoring right now, in the same area. I think number one, make sure it's God and not you. And there's a lot of free online assessment tools that you can sit down by yourself. No one else has to see it, and you go through like online assessments. Just Google them, man. Google, church planting free online assessment. You'll find some. And that can be your beginning. And then when I started, I didn't have a degree yet. I wasn't being sent out by a church. This was before Promised Land. I wasn't being sent out, and so I said, all right, I don't have a degree. I don't have the schooling. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to school. I am going to read every book that I could read. I'm gonna see every webinar on church planting that I could get free. And you know from my old job the space that I had in those positions. Right. So I'd be doing my work and listening to all these hot rod church planters in my ear while I'm working, and that began my journey, because by then I knew that God had called me. So number one, make sure that you're called, because if God ain't calling you, then listen, this ain't easy. Church planting is a whole nother animal than being a pastor of an established church. Right. It's a totally different animal. And B was talking about starting a company, and yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Everything that entails. If it don't, my old Pastor Gabriel from Sion used to say, si no es de Dios no permanece. If it's not of God, it will not last. Right. And so take that to heart. Make sure it's God, and then do your homework. Go to school, man. Get an education. Learn about church planting. There's a lot of free resources, a lot of books. Get your read on. You gotta read. You gotta know what you're talking about. You gotta know your theology. You gotta be able to explain what you believe, and it's gotta be biblical. And then after you do all of that, this is my experience. After I did all of that, then I just started casting the net, and they use the term casting the net wide, meaning tell everybody this is what God has put in your heart. And you're gonna have naysayers, you're gonna have people that are down. And I was always surprised when someone looks at me and went, people believe in you. Always surprised. And you'd be surprised who's already waiting for that church to be planted. Right. And then also, please get with an organization that will hold you accountable, because a lot of organizations will say yes, ordain, bang, and then they never visit your church, man. You could be preaching false doctrine. I could be slinging crack, you know what I mean? And it's the truth. I won't talk about it, but it's the truth. It's what happened. And so these people don't leave me alone. I report to them monthly. I talk to them all the time. We have monthly meetings. I'm required to go to some of these events that I have to travel for. And so all of that has really helped us to, there were times, and this is the honest truth, man, there were times where I sat there and said, God, am I doing the right thing? I want to leave right now. I want this to end. And as God is my witness, every time I heard another pastor say that before, I said, I'd never say that. And sure enough, a year in, bro, I was ready. I was like, Erica would find me crying. I was like, what's the matter, babe? This isn't working. I don't know. You have to make sure that it's God, man. It's a heavy burden, and it's not easy.
I actually wanted to ask you about Erica, your wife. His lovely wife is Erica.
She's gorgeous. Shout out to my baby girl, Izzy. You watching, Izzy? I love you. Right.
If she didn't fall asleep yet, right?
She's awake. She's awake.
Okay. She's watching?
She was like, Brother E, what's that? Brother what? Something like that she said.
How has Erica fit into the picture, and correct me if I'm saying this wrong, of your calling of being a pastor?
That's good. It took a minute. We were at crossroads when I started thinking about, this is where we gotta go. And
That's funny, you were at a crossroads.
Yeah, we were at the church crossroads, and I was at a crossroads. And I told her,
sorry,
it's all right. It's how we flow. I told her, babe, this is where I feel called. And her first reaction was like, no, that's not me. Ain't me, bro. Ain't me. And I said, okay. And I just prayed. And I'm one that will say, okay. And I'll go home and pray. And I'll pray and I'll pray and I'll pray. And I don't know how long later, we're on a family retreat up at Didasco. Shout out to them in Tuscarora Inn. And she walks up to me and she says, And she's probably looking at this right now and saying, you're saying it wrong, because I always say the stories wrong. But I remember that she came up to me at one point and she goes, okay, God spoke to me. And every time I do that, and that's just my flow, God, you deal with it. And I walk away. And in that time that I walked away, I was doing all my reading, my webinars, and all of that stuff, going back to school. And so she came to me and she said, okay, I believe in the calling, God has spoken to me, etc. And so at first, we would sit down with other pastors and their wives and say, like, what's the role? And, you know, we get some great stuff. One pastor's wife said, well, she's not the pastor's wife. She's your wife. Get the difference? She's not the pastor's wife. She's not the rapper's wife. She's your wife. You understand? Right. It's a big difference. And so we got a whole bunch of advice. And so what we've done is we've tried to find where she could fit in. But church planting, you're doing everything. So when we started, I would lead worship, preach, set up the PowerPoint, all of that. So she was like in 6-7 ministries at one point. So little by little, as we grew, we started pulling her out of stuff. And right now, she does a few things still, but it's a little easier. And her main role is she runs the children's church with Carmen. And one of the things we do in our church is we double up all our leadership. So that if we have 2 people in charge of everything, at least 2 people. Sometimes it's 2 couples, always in charge. So the leadership is double. So it's always her and Carmen are the leaders of that ministry. So she's fallen into that. But I think it's changing. I think she's going to be doing some other stuff as we grow a little more. And the need for her to be there in children's church is lessened. And she might still oversee it with Carmen. You know, we're real fluid. One of the things I tell the church is, let's think of ourselves as water. When you put water in a cup or in a basin, it takes the shape of whatever it's in. Right. And I think that the church should be that way while the focus is still Christ. If God brought a whole bunch of, you know, brand new immigrants to the church, then we have to deal with them. We have to serve them. And so we might change, right? So that's how we think of ministry. It's been good. It's been hard. It's been a lot of hard lessons learned, a lot of friendships changed because we planted with a lot of our friends, you know. Right. And I want to shout out all my pastors. Sion, Pastor Gabriel, Revelation and Harvest, Pastor Mitchell, Crossroads, Pastor Joe, because each one of them deposited something in me very unique. And in each one of those places, the first one, I was off the street, dude. So I needed discipline. I got that in Sion. And then I go to Harvest and I help them plant Harvest. And I learned how to minister in a different way. And I learned about excellence in music and, you know, being free in the art. And then I go to Crossroads and there's biblical engagement. And then there's excellence in ministry. So everywhere I went, and then I go to Promised Land. So shout out to Pastor Mike. And there, I loved what he said when he was on. He said, you know, he brought his giftings and I brought mine. And so what he lacked, I had, and what I lacked, he had. And so I learned ministry from the inside. Right. Totally different animal. Nice. And so, yeah, I think for me and Erica, everything is changing, is growing. We slide here, we slide there. And I'm going to be transparent. Can I be transparent?
Absolutely. That's why we
almost split up.
Wow.
2 years ago, about a little more than 2 years ago, we almost split up. Everything got in the way. It was just a whole bunch of stuff. And we almost split up, and we decided to do what we needed to do to stay together. We went to counseling, and it was one of the best things. And so anybody going through trouble in your marriage, go to counseling, go to Christian counselor. It helped us so much. I'm more in love with her now than ever. Our marriage is great. Everything about our marriage is beautiful, and we're honest and open with each other like never before. When I say, and the covenant guys always, especially Jason Condon, always says, he says, it was a bump in the road. And you have those in ministry, you know. You have bumps. Absolutely. That was what got us. And but it's been a beautiful ride for us so far. I'm dying. I'm like, God, please show us who we're gonna send out next. Who's gonna be next? I think I know, but I'm probably wrong. Yeah. And that's all right. It's all right. You know, psych. Right. Exactly.
So talk about this. You guys had a project that you released. What was the exact date? When did you release it?
You're asking the wrong dude, bro.
It's released. It's been released.
I think it was November.
Right. And it's called Mission Friends.
Mission Friends.
Elements presents Mission Friends. Talk about the purpose real quick about this and how people can get it.
Well, Evangelical Covenant Church, our denomination, started off as a ministry called Mission Friends. And so it reminded me of the Super Friends. It reminded me of superheroes. And so I said, yo, it'd be kind of hot if we call the album Mission Friends. And everybody said, oh, that's kind of hot. All right. And we put the album together. It was a labor of love for almost 2 years. It's produced entirely, completely by Frequency Production. Shout out to them. And the music to me is great. We have on it. So you saw Jay Skywalker and Urban D as features. We also have August Santana. We have Mars. Yeah, thank you, because I'm gonna forget. We have so many people on it. New Man's on it. Melody, CO, whole bunch of people. Jay Cabasa, Jen Ferrer. I mean, I could go on and on. There's tons of people. So it's beautiful. We love the project. Craig Nice. You know what we did? We had everybody that's in our church that rhymes or sings is on it. Is on it.
But that's good.
We have one young man who never recorded in his life, and Evans, and you hear it. However, it was an incredible experience for him. It was great for us to expose him that way.
So you're giving one of these away today?
Yeah, we're giving one of these away. So here's how we're gonna frame the question. It's a trivia question, and you have to give us the question. I'm gonna give you the answer. The answer is, what is one... Wait, that's a question. Name the one...
Like, wait, what?
Wait.
Jeopardy?
Let's see if I say it right.
Question for the...
The question that... What?
You got to give the answer.
The answer is Brother E. And the answer is...
clue.
The clue is, it's the one trivia question related to Rap Fest that y'all can have 700 years of Rap Fest, 7 billion rappers, and no one will ever take this away from me. It's the one thing. The answer is Brother E. What's the question?
You could text us at 805-RAPFEST. That's 805-727-3378. Or email us at rapfestinc@gmail.com, or even tweet us at rapfestradio, hashtag Brother E. Tell us what the question is, and the first person to do that, we'll hit you back, ask for your address, and you get one of these Mission Friends CDs in your mailbox, courtesy of Elements Church and the Boogie Down. You have something special coming up this Sunday at your church?
Yeah, this Sunday we decided to do an all worship concert. So there's going to be a nugget of the word at the end, but you're going to get the word throughout the worship service. It's just going to be all worship, a worship concert featuring Jay Cabasa and the Freedom Worship Team. And there might be a few little surprises up in there, but our service begins at 11 with snacks and coffee. We always provide that. And we worship at 11:30, and you do not want to miss it because it's going to be special. And the address is 2165 Powell Avenue, right off of Castle Hill.
Awesome.
2165 Powell Avenue, 11 o'clock, 11:30?
11. Say 11.
11 o'clock on Sunday. You want to be there for this at Elements Church. Don't forget. And don't forget, the answer is Brother E. You tell us the question. It could only be Brother E for this question. That's the, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the only answer. And it's related to Rap Fest. Hit us up at rapfestradio@gmail.com, rapfestinc@gmail.com, or tweet us at rapfestradio, call us, whatever, join the chat room. You know how to find us. Bro, I want to thank you, man, once again for coming out.
Bro.
Of course.
Thank you.
You know, it's long overdue, so we're excited. We're excited to where God has you now. And I still remember the conversations back then. Yo, I think I'm going to plant the church. No, you're not.
No.
Yes, you are. No, you're not. Yes, you are.
Yeah,
and
terrified.
now, look, this is awesome, man. So we're excited for that, and we look forward to hearing more testimonies down the line. We are done with this show. Wow, Power Pack Show. Don't forget the artist confirmed for Rap Fest 2013 will be posted on the website, rapfestinc.com.
Yeah.
August 10th is the date. Make sure you're out there. Go to rapfestinc.com. You'll have all the details. Sponsors, if you want to get involved, hit us up. Shout out to Grateful Apparel, God Belongs in My City, Holy Culture, and all those guys out there that have been supporting us through this. We're going to end with another exclusive, brand new video. It's not really exclusive, but it's brand new, so I'm excited. That's 3 today.
There you go.
This is I Can Bear by SO. Shout out to the people out there for sending us this video.
SO.
Check it out. And again, thank you guys. Next week, no show, holiday. Enjoy the day off.
Enjoy.
That's it, right?
Peace.
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 I've been through trials and tribulations. Been a while since I was saved, and I might smile on rare occasions. This mess won't leave me depressed, and I know I need rest in the season of stress. Felt no recess since evil is crept and the bar is set. Ain't leaving the nest. How can I leave a woman I love in that bad moment I hate? There was no one there that I trust. I placed my hand over my face. I need grace more, but gonna taste joy. Embrace Lord and for the great forward. Heard him sing with that great noise. I with a real thing and no fake tour. Face a man, I can't make it. Once had a basic plan, but can't take it. Was outspoken, now I'm evasive. These are my growing pains, just like Jason. Ain't it real though? When I feel low, death knocked hard and that's still though. What you think I rap real for? Groupie chicks and black steel gold. If that was me, why would I grieve and act unfacetiously? Why would I speak and leak the speech for buying that peace and the peas of speech? Ride on the beach like things is peach. Crime over beats and feed this beast. No, that ain't me, no easy scene, man. I wanna be where Jesus
Only
be.
the Lord knows the troubles and struggles that I've seen all through my life. I walked down the crossroads. The light in the tunnel made me know all will be right. Plus he'll never give me
more than I could bear. More than I could, more than I could bear. More than I could bear. More than I can. God will never give me more than I could bear. More than I can, more than I could bear. More than I could bear. Plus his grace is still sufficient. Listen, I've been through tribulations and trials. Been a while since I've been on this race, and from this space I ran miles. Never had that distaste in your mouth, or felt so displaced in your house. Then bear the appearance of one who was lost his parent. This weight that I pound is feeling heavy the most, and I barely can boast. Rarely can coast as I'm hearing my foes. Weary and weak as I carry the load. They're not close to Christ like Mary and Joe. Why you the strife and why you the pain? Sadness is rife and ripe on my brain. I ain't the type to hype the same. I'm living for Christ and death is the game, and I know that now. Paul wrote that down. I ain't alone in this road right now. Goes on the throne, I know that he knows everything that I go through. His close might sound that he is not, but he's shown different. Got a known system that shows wisdom. Sanctifies every known Christian. Suffering draws us close with him. I know that he's here and he hears, and I know that he's near with the pairs. I'm scared more. Lord, quench my fears, wipe my tears, hold my peers. Those who would hear this spice like snares, till you appear and your life's right there. One thing's in bold, this Yahweh cares. You never give more than I can.
Only the Lord knows the troubles and struggles that I've seen